Here we go. Negative 26 pounds. I told you that the time I take that out of that squirrel came up to me, right? I did. Yeah, you got that wrong. 14 phalangeal, 5 parcels, 7 parcels. What are your parcels?
Bigger bone.
Tarsals?
Tarsals are like the bone here.
Well, this one's missing. This one's really missing bone. This one got 4 up there. All right, so you have phalangeal. What are your phalanges?
Here's your toes.
Here's your toes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 12, 13, 14. And your fingers, oh, look, it's the same as your toes. Right? So you only have 2 phalange bones for your great toe or your thumb. The rest of them have 3. Right? Your metatarsals, you have metacarpals and you have metatarsals. So how do you difference between metatarsal and metacarpal? Tars starts to the left, which is next to your toes. All right. And then here's your tarsal. Uniform, your talus, your campaigns. All right. So you can go through pretty much all of those again. All right. So what do you both do? They serve to give a wider base, both for balance and for propelling your foot forward. So like if you're at the beach, you're running on the beach, you see your toes at the end. Okay. What's your root? Your great toe. Again, you're going to have to compensate for it. Easier to balance. Like if you were to take your shoes off and you take your hand and put them in your shoes that you've worn for a while, you'll feel where your toes dig down in. You have one of these guys or girls that come and walk in and they have their socks or their barefoot, and you see them trying to balance, you'll see those toes dig in here and here. And it's great toe, it's a good toe. It's a big time balance. All right? So you got a sesamoid bone, and it's located where there's 2 sesamoid bones, located beneath the first metatarsal phalangeal joint. Metatarsal phalangeal joint. All right? What would that be? Metatarsal is where? Here? Here. All right, where's your metatarsal phalangeal joint then? Here? Here? All right, that's right. There's a phalange, there's a metatarsal. Your metatarsal phalangeal joint. So it's important to know what part is what when you talk about your anatomy. Metacarpal phalangeal joint, where's that? No. Metacarpal phalangeal. Where's your metacarpal? No. You really have another way. All right, so it acts to reduce pressure and weight bearing and to increase the advantage of the flexor tendons of your toes. So you've got these sesamoid bones. They're in your knee. All right, where would I find the sesamoid bones? The first metacarpal phalangeal joint. Come on, take it.
that right?
Yes, big toe. So where is it here? Metatarsal. Alright, metatarsal. Phalangeal joint and it's underneath it. So it's right there. Alright? So what do you got right there? They call that the well, your feet, right? This one's actually got a sesamoid bone, which is a little bone that sits underneath there. You got another set of sesamoid bones. Where are they? Right there. What is that? Well, hers are funny bones, but everybody else are kneecap or patella. Right? So what do those little bones do? Right, see where it says? It says it is to increase the advantage of the flexor tendons in the great toe. Can you live without your kneecaps?
Yes.
Live without legs? No, you're not. Are you able to extend your leg without your kneecap? Yes, you are. Huh? All right, so if I've got a tabletop, right, and I'm taking a rope and I'm tying to something that's got some weight to it. I tie it and I'm standing over here and I want to pull that up off the floor. Okay? So if it just goes straight down, all right? If it goes straight down, can I do it? Is it possible? Yes, it is. But what would make it easier? If I had a little pulley. If I had a pulley, it would make it easier. So there it is. We take this table right there. And let's say the ball there, or the tape, is actually going to be my lower leg. And we get the tape. So I can actually pull this like this, and it will come up. And that's what the posture track. It makes it shorter, like it comes up. But what if I was to do this and put a knee down there? All right? So if you push that in a little bit where it normally was. Now you see how that is? Now I've got a pulley. And that pulley will make that come up easier. So that's what it does, is it actually gives you the ability to have more strength in your quads for that sesamoid bone. So what does it do with your flexor tendon? It does the same thing on your foot. So that's what makes that great toe so much stronger than your other ones. All right. So your metatarsals, you have 5. What else is here? Next one. All right. The metatarsals, 5 bones that lie between and connect the tarsal to the phalanges. All right. First metatarsal is the largest and functions as the main weight-bearing support during walking and running. And there's little movement, but they do widen during weight-bearing. So you get off the table, what happens to your foot? Flatten, so it means it gets what? Wider, and also gets, let's get longer a little bit. Yes. So that is telling us that it will widen a little bit more weight-bearing. Like you want to make sure it's good. Yes. Maybe if we just put them on, you don't get weight bearing, we'll find out if it's tight. That's also why when we're taking our ankles, those last couple of strips at the end, we want to make sure that you get your finger in there where you get that tape. Because otherwise, if it's too tight, then your foot widens, that tape can wreak havoc on their foot. So, you got 7 tarsal bones. So, that the tarsals is not going to include this one or this one. You have your tibia and fibula. So, there's your 7 tarsal bones. Right? Calcaneus, the cuboid, and the navicular, and there's 3 cuneiforms. Right? 3 cuneiforms. So, calcaneus, cuboid, navicular. Now, you'll hear about this word called the navicular when we get all the way up to the wrist. When we get to the wrist, some doctors call this bone that's right here the navicular. It's Not as many, but they still call it the navicular. The scapula. You have the navicular down in your foot. All right, they're super important in supporting the body and for locomotion. All right, calcaneus. The largest partial bone supports the pelvis and it shapes the heel. Calcaneus is this puppy right here. Okay? Really tough bone. Has to be, it's your heel bone. All right. So it functions to convey the body weight to the ground and serve as attachment for both the Achilles tendon and several structures on the plantar surface of the foot. So the Achilles tendon, you know what that is? Now where your Achilles
That's your place right here.
Exactly. It's got to attack somewhere. And so why not a really strong bone? But yeah, because you're here. So when your calf muscle contracts and it shortens, right? It pulls that calcaneus. Look, I go up. Because it's pulling that up. That's what the calcaneus is going to do for the Achilles tendon. Now I look at the bottom of it and I see that I have, oh, there's some fascia that makes us our arch. We'll talk about this arch in a minute. But it's got to attach somewhere too. Well, let's attach to that heel because at the very end of the foot and too strong. So we'll attach to the calcaneus. All right? Here we go. Not a super great picture, but you can obviously go and get those all online. You get inflammation here, there's plantar fascia. You get inflammation of the fascia. What would that be called? Fasciitis. Yes. Yes. Thing. All right. Talus. This is a full bone. Right? Talus sits in between here and on top of this is calcaneus. So it's buried way down in there. But it's super important bone. If you break your talus, oh man, you're out athletic for a while. That's got to heal up. Talus is an irregularly shaped bone, and it's the most superior. Not that it means that it's a whole lot better than the other bones. It means that it's the tallest or the highest on the anatomy. All right, of your tarsal bone. So it's the most superior of the tarsal bones, situated above the calcaneus, has a body, a neck, and a head. The uppermost of the talus is the trochlea, which articulates the medial and lateral malleoli to form the ankle joint. What's that fancy word? Malleoli. Those parts of your ankle that stick out. Right? You know, if you ever watch cartoons, yeah, he even drew those on his legs. They were really big because he, you know, Barney had them too. So even in the cartoons, you saw those. All right. The talus is broader anteriorly, then forward slipping by the tibia during locomotion. In the front of the talus, it's wider than when it gets in the back. All right. To keep this bone, these bones here, from sliding down forward. Right? Once we get into the ligaments of the ankle, you're going to see how all this comes together. Because on this little thing, you can see what the ligaments are. And you'll have a talofibular, right? And you'll have a calcaneofibular. And the name of the ligament tell you what attaches to what, where that ligament attaches to. So the ankle bone, as far as the ankle joint, as far as ligaments, really easy to figure out what one is working. So you see there, that's the inside view, medial view. All right, there's the tibia, and the talus is in the middle, and the calcaneus down here. Now the tibia actually was shoved, would come down a little farther on that, but they shake that off and make sure you're able to see the talus. All right, so the navicular position anterior of the talus on the medial aspect of the foot, and anterior articulates Let's articulate. Where it connects. Have an articulation. That's where one bone connects to the other. Right? So, what that means is that it's sitting right here. Alright? The cuboid is the lateral aspect of the foot. Articulates posteriorly with the calcaneus and anteriorly with the fourth and metatarsal. So I look here now. We've already talked about this one, right? Two, clavicular. Alright? Now I want your hoops. Legs is the cuboid. And then you see these three bones? For some reason, I guess they decided to put making words up, they call all of them feet points. Alright? So, if you were a doctor, and you were a foot doctor, you were talking to the doctor and said, lateral, medial, and intermediate. That will tell you which one is 1, 2, and 3, just by using position. Alright? Uniform three bones located between the clavicular and the base of the medial metatarsal. All right, you have arches in your foot. You've heard of those, right? You have a fallen arch. Then the fallen arch. No, you know what your arch is? Where do you find your arch? Under your foot, on the bottom of it. See? Something like that. So if you were to step on the paper, did y'all step on the paper the other day? And so you saw that your whole foot didn't come down on the paper, did it? That inside part, in here, this part didn't touch, did it? Are you serious? Yeah. You might have a fallen arch. But they call it flat foot. You can actually front off my just fine. But there's one arch here, but there's another arch. Where would you put another arch? Yeah, it goes this way. So this way, and then that one goes that way. Here, and then here. Right? So the medial longitudinal arch. Can you tell me which one's which? Is this medial longitudinal arch, or is it over here? Alright, so which one's medial? On my left. Alright, so we're looking at this foot, right foot. Okay, so it's going to be here. Here. Which one's medial? Right. So my medial longitudinal. Now, if you look at longitudinal, the very first part of it is LONG, so it's long. Is your foot longer this way or is it longer that way? This way. So there we go. On the inside and longitudinal. Right? So, medial from the border of the calcaneus forward to the distal head to the first metatarsal. So from here to here. Alright? The lateral longitudinal arch is on the outer aspect of the foot, follows the same path as the medial longitudinal arch. It forms calcaneus, cuboid, and distal metatarsal. Although when you did your stepping, you did see that this part though does not have near the arch as what this side does. Did you? You know that you make little footprints on the school bus? Yeah, then you hand punch it around and you put those on. You never seen that? Oh goodness, y'all never heard of school bus either. You lose some money. Come on. Anterior metatarsal arch. So anterior is going to be farther out and metatarsal. So this one goes this way. So the anterior metatarsal arch is shaped by the distal head, which is distal means closer apart. Farther, because it's distance. Proximal is closer, it's near proximity. Right? So that's how you learn these words. So it's shaped by the distal head and the tarsal, and the transverse arch extends across the transverse tarsal bone, primarily the cuboid and the internal feet form a half bone. So we're going to learn how to take a march tomorrow. Okay? And at the same time, you also need to learn how to take turf code. We're going to talk about turf code in this group. Right? Plantar, so down top and bottom. Top, bottom. Hit bottom, because that's where you got, that's part of your foot that you use to plant your beans, right? You don't use top of your foot, bottom of your foot. You plant your beans with your plantar surface. Tell me what's the other side. That's the plantar surface. What's this side? Come on, remember jaws? Kind of pin it, what kind of pin shows up in jaws? Dorsal. Exactly. Dorsal side. So the thick band of fibrous tissue originating from the medial tuberosity calcaneus, sitting on the proximal edge of the part of the foot against downward force. So if your plantar fascia is irritated with your plantar fasciitis, get an ITS on there. Yeah. And when you wake up in the morning, holy smoke, it feels like you just stepped on a knife. It hurts really bad. So they treat that by, of course, anti-inflammatory, but it doesn't that you can use where it doesn't hurt someone's night. But when you go to sleep, feet don't pick up, do they? You know, and relax and they curl up a little bit. So the tissue curls up and gets, instead of being long and stretched, it gets nice and short. And when you step down, it gets longer and wider. And when it gets longer, it pulls on that plantar fascia, and that hurts a lot. So about 15 minutes, it'll start feeling better. Unless you hurry up and go take that shower and get the heat running through it from standing in warm water. But if you wore high-top sneakers to bed, you probably will have a better morning. Yeah, you wore your sneakers to bed. Because that helps keep your foot flat. High-top does help keep that foot from going in plantar flexion. So if we have plantar flexion, that's promotes this. We have high-top on. They also make cast shoes. You've seen the one girl in their next class that did cast shoes. Yeah, that foot surgery. Really does the black shoes. So you can take that and they actually have a one that ties up then it ties up the string. And ties up, it's got a little string that comes up here and ties up here. Keep your foot from going down. Yeah, that's not really cool. Alright. All right. All right. So let's find out what is going to even with swimming. All right. Even though you're not on your feet, but if you end up with acid foot and it itches and burns, even with swimming, if you don't take care of your feet, you're not going to play athletics. All right? Got one over here. You take care of your foot. Got ice on it. You're not out there in athletics. If you've got blisters on your feet, if you've got calluses that have blisters underneath them, you got plantar fasciitis, you've got sesamoiditis, where there's some inflammation around that sesamoid bone. All of those things, if you have any of that going on, you're going to end up not being near an athlete that you can't. I don't know a sport where you don't use your feet. Especially using track, football, baseball, softball, basketball. You got any more? Swimming, kickball, well, archery, you gotta stand up. I mean, so your feet are super important. So if you don't take care of your feet, you're in trouble. The simplest things are selecting the right footwear. Holy smokes. Now those right there, back in the day, 50 years ago, maybe more, those are actually the state-of-the-art basketball shoes. Everybody who played basketball wore the Converse Chuck Taylor All-Stars. Because there was make those in high tops. Have you seen those? And those were like the basketball shoe to wear. So we don't wear those. So you got to think about sports specific. All right. So if I'm being sports specific, let's talk about basketball. Is there a lot of lateral movement? You know, I'm moving from side to side. So you want a shoe that's got not just a shoe that only fits on your foot. You want one with a wider base to help you from rolling your ankle. All right. But do I need all of that extra weight when I'm out on a track? No, I want something because I don't have a lot of lateral movement. You are just going straight. All right, there's a little curve that you have to run around now and then. But it's not a really super curve. So we need smaller shoes, and they are the light shoes to try and make sure that their feet are going up and down quicker. So to be sports specific, is there any structural deformities of the person's foot? They've got an extra bump, and that happens. Sometimes you get an extra bump. I think if you're using the extravicular, isn't it? Yes. Keyboard. So it sits right there. Sometimes you get an extra bone sitting down over here. All right. Slip flat shoe, a slip flat shoe for an office in the office is so okay. A board flat shoe is a fiber board attached to the upper. I will have something printed for you tomorrow that will explain in the detail the difference between the different shoes. The combination is a shoe that's boarded in the back and it's slip latched in the front. And the heel counter of the shoe, I don't know what the heel counter is, you don't have one of those. No, not at all. No, you're wearing the same thing. But, and she told me, there's probably more sensitive. Okay, well, I'll take this one off then. Back here, all right? Back here is your heel counter, all right? So if my heel counter, and this is not a good shoe because this heel counter breaks down. If you're going to be playing in athletics, you need to have a heel counter that is hard plastic, all right? So that you can't just put them on like slippers. They help keep your foot in your shoe. It's wider at the bottom and it narrows up to help keep your heel from sliding down. Yep. And the biggest thing about shoes is remember this. What you pay for is what you get. So if you go to Kohl's or Academy or whatnot and you're looking at the $29.99 aisle, you're going to split that in half. You're going to put $15 on each foot. Or you go to Fleet Feet or someplace else, or even in the same places, and you look at $150 shoe. Now you went from $15 if you're thinking of your shoes to $75 a foot. And there's a big difference between a $15 shoe and a $75 shoe on your foot. We'll get into shoes more tomorrow. All right? I think all of you are going to do homework. Well, what are you waiting on? Christmas? Getting that internet. I think they were good when we actually talk about that. That's amazing.
Push stop. Stop broadcasting.